Good morning and welcome to This Day in History, October 21. I'm glad to be home. And the crows outside are pitching a fit about something. I know from a mic test that you may be able to hear them as I talk. Hopefully they'll get over what's bugging them or move along. I don't know, but there you go. This morning, let's start in 1772 when Romantic poet Samuel Taylor Coleridge was born in Devonshire, England. He was an ambitious young man who lectured on religion, wrote journalism, and tried to launch his own magazine, but he was exhausting himself and fell into a depression. And then he met the poet William Wordsworth. Wordsworth encouraged Coleridge to stop writing journalism and focus on poetry. Coleridge took his advice. That first year of their friendship was the most productive period of Coleridge's life. They both liked to compose their poetry while walking, so they took long walks together throughout that summer. And though Wordsworth preferred to stay on the path, Coleridge liked rough terrain. Kind of sounds like a metaphor for his life. That winter, they spent several days hiking along the coast, and to pass the time, they made up a Gothic ballad about a tragic sea voyage. Coleridge became obsessed with the poem, and when he got home, he started filling it with images from nightmares he'd had since he was a kid. This became his masterpiece, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, a story of a sailor who brings a curse on his ship when he kills a bird. Unfortunately, that was pretty much the high point of Coleridge's life. He became addicted to opium, ruined his friendship with Wordsworth. He had a habit of starting enormous projects that he couldn't complete. He died in 1834 at the age of 61. In 1805, one of the most decisive naval battles in history, a British fleet under Admiral Lord Nelson defeated a combined French and Spanish fleet at the Battle of Trafalgar, fought off the coast of Spain. In 1833, Swedish chemist who invented dynamite and founded the Nobel Prizes, Alfred Nobel, was born in Stockholm, Sweden. He died in 1896 at the age of 63. Interesting to note that I've already outlived both of these guys. It was on this day in 1879 that Thomas Edison finally struck upon the idea for a workable electric light. People had been trying to make electric lights since the 1820s to replace kerosene and gas lamps, but they'd chosen the wrong material for the filament, platinum. Edison tried a carbonized cotton thread, carbon filament that worked much better. He later improved the design with a tungsten filament that lasted longer and glowed brighter. In 1917, on this day, jazz trumpeter Dizzy Gillespie was born. On October 21, 1921, President Warren G. Harding delivered a speech in Alabama in which he condemned lynchings. In 1928, American Hall of Fame baseball pitcher for the New York Yankees, Whitey Ford, was born in New York City. He's 91 years old today. Happy birthday, Mr. Ford. 1940, Ernest Hemingway's novel For Whom the Bell Tolls. 1941, some World War II news. Germans massacred men, women, and children in Yugoslavia. 1942, jurist and television personality Judith Sheindlin, better known as Judge Judy, was born in Brooklyn, New York on this day in 1942, making her 77 today. Happy birthday, Judge Judy. 1949, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was born in Tel Aviv, Israel, making him 70 years old today. Happy birthday. 1952, actress, author, and daughter of President Ronald Reagan, Patti Davis, was born. In 1956, actress, author, and screenwriter Carrie Fisher, daughter of singer Eddie Fisher and actress Debbie Reynolds, best known as Princess Leia in the Star Wars trilogy, was born on October 21, 1956. 1959, the Guggenheim Museum opened in New York City. 1961, Bob Dylan recorded his first album in a single day at the cost of $400. In 1964, the Swedish Academy announced that the Nobel Prize in Literature would go to Jean-Paul Sartre. He declined the prize, but the Academy decided to award it to him anyway, and he never accepted it. 1967, thousands protest the war in Vietnam. In Washington, D.C., nearly 100,000 people gathered to protest the American war effort in Vietnam. More than 50,000 of the protesters marched to the Pentagon to ask for an end to the conflict. In 1997, Elton John's tribute to Princess Diana broke world records in sales. In 2002, 7 new saints were canonized by Pope Benedict XVI. And that's going to wrap it up for us today, October 21st. Thanks for watching. Give it a like if you enjoyed this video and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video if you found it interesting or informative or entertaining or whatever. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. On October, okay, with the notifications. Is this the 21st? Yeah, okay. Sure would be nice if I could ever read one of these in its entirety without having to start anything over. That would be awesome. Was that 1927? Oh boy, we got our years mixed up. I might have to take another look at that, but I'm going to have to look at that. So, plumbing happens. This is why I don't do live shows.